for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came in to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came in to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came in to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you
How
can
about now?
even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion,
you know what? It's not
riding
gonna
high on
work.
this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time.
We just
No,
lost
ain't no
sound.
stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in,
No, I
we
can't hear
came
anything.
in to win. We're gonna give everything.
What the fuck's going on here?
S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K
No, it's not. It's
on
my
the
computer.
run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car
Sound's
ride,
gone.
play it when you lounge. X and O, you know
just
that we
froze
can
out.
hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came in to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre, McGuire, and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. And after after 22 years, Raymond Mark!
The sickest NHL podcast. Brought to you by TCS Customs and Logistics. Moving pieces, delivering peace of mind. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here in the Sick Podcast Network. I am Jimmy Murphy. He is Pierre McGuire. And next to me is the Executive Director, Eric Open of the Connecticut Hockey Foundation. We are live from our tier arena at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. Beautiful establishment. Pierre, you've been here. It's my first time here. It's amazing. We're here for the CTI tournament with UConn, Yale, Quinnipiac, and Sacred Heart University. Pierre, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing excellent. I'm at your alma mater right now, UMass Amherst, getting ready to watch the Minutemen play against the Nanooks from Alaska.
All right.
Said I have been in that arena, and I got to tell you right now, the parking's great, the concessions are great, the reception rooms are great, everything is great. There's not one bad seat in the building. It is a spectacular building. The lighting is amazing. Love every time I have a chance to visit there.
Yeah, it's unreal, Pierre. I can't, my friend Todd Carroll, who's going to come on, he was part of the putting this together and helping the architecture of it. And he was raving about it forever. And I'm so happy I finally made it down here. Everybody with the staff here is amazing. And it's funny, as I was telling you, our good friend Robert Fitzpatrick from the Belfast Giants is here because Sacred Heart will take place in the Friendship Four right there in Belfast next year. And in front of us, Pierre, is a giant bell. So go figure. Just like they had it at the Friendship Four when they win the tournament, they ring the bell. But Pierre, before we get into the college stuff here on an on-campus Friday, lots going on in the NHL. We'll start with some news today, and I'll just get your impressions on some games last night. Tony DeAngelo signs with the New York Islanders. Pierre, your first impression of that signing?
They had to because Noah Dobson's injured right now. So they need help on defense. Their farm team in Bridgeport's in last place in the American Hockey League. They don't have a lot of artillery right there that can come up and help them. Tony DeAngelo's had a great year playing in SCA in St. Petersburg. I still think he's a very capable NHL player. I understand why some teams stayed away from him. I would not run my team that way if I were running a team, but clearly a lot of teams have chosen to go that way. But Tony kept himself in good shape. I know he's ready for this challenge, and I think he's going to help the Islanders. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get him in the playoffs, so Jimmy.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is that people worry, Pierre, that he could come in and disrupt the locker room. But knowing Lou Lamoriello, I don't think he's going to take that chance if he has a little bit of worry that it's not going to work.
It's not just Lou, it's Patty Roy. It's Patrick Roy as well. Patrick's going to say, no way. Like, Patrick's been in the dressing room with some pretty powerful egos over the course of his career. He's not going to take a back seat to anybody, so I don't think that'll be a problem.
But we're on one more thing on the New York Islanders too, Pierre. As I was saying to you off air before we got on here, I was asking you, you look at that team right now, and we've heard their name mentioned in the JT Miller rumors. We've heard them in some other trade rumors. And yet, as I said to you off there, they're kind of one of those teams that are in that middle ground, kind of like the Boston Bruins we've been talking about. Do they retool, or do you go all in at the deadline? I feel like the Islanders are a team that shouldn't go all in. I think they need to start thinking about the future. So you don't want to sacrifice whatever prospects or picks you have. And I look at this as maybe that's the type of deal that's a good move. Maybe this signifies that they're not going to go all out at the deadline, but they're still trying to make the playoffs.
Well, their best prospect's Danny Nelson. We saw him at the Friendship Four over in Ireland playing for Notre Dame. Just won a gold medal playing for Team USA World Junior. He's a tremendous two-way, 200-foot center iceman, gets points now. The offensive part of his game has really evolved in a good way, not a bad way. He's their best prospect. If they trade him, then I would be really disappointed. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all.
All right, Pierre, I want to just quickly on last night, obviously a game I was watching, the Boston Bruins, the Ottawa Senators. What is going on with the Ottawa Senators right now in scoring? They have completely dried up. They've been shut out 5 times, Pierre, in the month of January.
Well, Brady's not having a great run through January. Brady's a really important player for that team. Timmy Stützle hasn't been lighting it up over the last little while either. But I think the biggest thing is nobody's talking about their transition game. You don't have Jake Sanderson. He's injured right now. Josh Norris, one of their best face-off guys, he's injured right now. But that transition game, and usually Jake's the guy that starts it, it's not happening right now. They need Tommy Shabbat to be a whole lot better for them, and they need Artem Zub on the right side to be a whole lot better in terms of transitioning the puck. So I'd say that those are some of the things. But the 2 injuries that are bothersome or troublesome for me watching it is obviously Jake Sanderson not playing and Josh Norris not playing.
If you're the Ottawa Senators, You got plenty of time right now because I guess you can wait and see what happens with them. But are you looking at more offense or are you looking at more defense as the trade deadline approaches?
I've always said they need help on the right side on defense. They do.
Yeah,
They've been playing Tyler Clevin over there. He's a left shot playing on the right side kid out of Notre Dame or North Dakota. I'm very fond of him too. I spent a lot of time trying to get him to turn pro when I was working in Ottawa. He's a great kid. No, I think they need help on the right side, and they could use a little bit more depth scoring. There's no question. They got a lot of good depth players. They don't have a whole lot of depth scoring.
All right. Looking around the league, the other big game that a lot of people are watching, obviously you were doing a post game on the Sick Podcast Network last night. The Montreal Canadiens fall 4-2 to the Detroit Red Wings. Pierre, I look at that game. I know Canadiens fans, it's a roller coaster with fans sometimes. I get they're looking at it like, what was that? After everything, all the success they've had for the past couple months. But I look at that just saying, hey, every once in a while you're going to have a game like that. And honestly, at that very moment, I feel like that game meant a little more to Detroit because they would have really fallen in the standings.
Oh, there's no question. Detroit had a lot more enthusiasm for that game than Montreal at the start. But I would say this, keep playing the game. Cam Talbot in the third period, it's 4-2. He stares down a breakaway opportunity for Cole Caulfield. If Cole scores there, it's a little like William Nylander. If he scores for Toronto on breakaways, maybe their record's just a tinge better, even though in their first place. I'm watching that and I'm going, if Cole scores, they got a problem in Detroit. He doesn't score there. Talbot comes up with a timely save, and then it's over, obviously, and Detroit does a good job closing it out. It's a couple little things, though, for Detroit. Larkin's got way more pop in his step right now. You can see it. So the new coaching change has definitely made a difference for them.
Yep.
They won that game without Patrick Kane last night, and their power play basically scored 2. I know they only get credit for 1, but one of the goals was right at the end of a Montreal Canadiens penalty. So basically they were 2 for 3 in the power play, which was really impressive for them. And I would say this, they will continue to evolve on the power play, which is good for them, but their 5-on-5 play is so much better than it was. No, I don't mean no disrespect to Derek Lalonde, none, zero. But I'm just telling you, their 5-on-5 play is way better now under Todd McClellan than it was under Coach Lalonde.
I agree with that. All right, let's head out west. The Edmonton Oilers take care of business with the Vancouver Canucks 6-2. But heading into that game, a lot of people weren't focused on the score or the actual game. They were looking more for the sideshow. What was your take on how that developed in that game, and also how the officials handled what could have, gotten out of hand if they let it?
Well, the league does a good job of making sure they got their finger on the pulse of those kinds of games. I've been involved in a few of them over the years. And they do a good job of controlling that. They let you know before the game, too. No shenanigans tonight. I didn't like Vancouver's effort. I didn't like the way some of their guys started. I don't think they were scared. I just think they didn't have a lot of energy. They didn't have a lot of jam when they started the game. I'll tell you one thing, though. I know he had a tough start. That Zach Hyman, he could be on my team anytime. All that guy does is play hard all the time. He cares about winning all the time. When you think about it, drafted by Florida, goes to Toronto. I can tell you when I was working, not in the media, but on the hockey side, he was a player we tried to get. It's just he was going to play with Connor McDavid. You knew that. You just knew that. So, look at he's a good player. Draisaitl's a real good player. Nugent Hopkins, all the right guys stepped up for them, Jimmy, and that matters in a game like that. Vancouver's got some soul searching. They play tomorrow night at home against Washington. They better not go to sleep on that game. Because if they do, Jimmy, I got to think something's going to happen before the end of the week. And if they lose that game on home ice, something's going to happen there. I don't know what it'll be, but something's going to go down.
Right. And look, we're not going to speculate on players, Pierre, because I know we don't like to do that here. What I will say, when you say something's going to happen, are you talking trade or what? Or you think it could be something else?
I'm talking something's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But
it's got to be some sort of shakeup.
Yeah, there's going to be something to shake the tree. Now, I don't know whether it's going to be a player trade. I don't know if it's going to be something put on waivers. I don't know if they're going to make a coaching change. They better not, but I don't know what they're going to do. I would say this. Knowing Jimmy Rutherford, he's not going to stand for much more of this.
No, and it's interesting, Pierre, as you're talking here, I'm thinking kind of a parallel out east, and this team has been linked to the Vancouver Canucks in JT Miller trade talks, is the New York Rangers, and they kind of had a similar situation where, they came in as favorites just like the Canucks, and they couldn't figure it out, and they're finally getting it going now. They haven't lost in regulation in the month of January, whereas the Canucks are just going in circles. So back to the Rangers, do you think maybe they hold back on a huge move because they look and say, hey, maybe we're not as bad as we thought we were a month ago. Maybe we don't need to shake the tree here. Maybe we have it internally.
No, I think the Rangers still looking to get better. They see what's going on around them too. They know how good Toronto is. Toronto's really good. They know it too. Jersey's much better than their record right now, lately in particular. So I think the Rangers are aware of that. They know that Washington's pretty darn good. They're aware of that. They know Florida's still the defending Stanley Cup champs. They're aware of that. So I don't see them sitting back. I think they're going to be super proactive. The one thing I would say, Shesterkin has been a whole lot better, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
He's been way more reliable,
And the guys are feeding off that, too. You can feel it.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
All right, listen, we're going to talk now a little bit about why we're here. We are here for CT Ice, and with me right now, as I said, is Eric Open, the Executive Director of the Connecticut Hockey Foundation. Eric, just tell us a bit about the Connecticut Hockey Foundation and also how this tournament came about.
Well, first of all, Jimmy, thank you for coming. And Pierre, it's great to see you. And the Connecticut Hockey Foundation was formed in memory of a great friend of ours, Jason Pagni, who Pierre knew very well, coached his son Ryan, who sadly we lost in 2014 to a car crash. He was the Pied Piper of Connecticut hockey. Mm-hmm. The names, the Shattenkirks, the Quicks, the Paciorettys, those guys he took to levels, advocacy, taking him to brick tournaments and all the coaching and insight. And he just had he just had a zest for life. And he just was, as Kevin told you in an interview, he was just one of a kind.
Yeah.
He was I was his lawyer for a dozen years. And when we lost him, it's just never been the same. It really hasn't. It's been an irreplaceable loss. And we really turned the foundation, number one, to sustain Jason's legacy. And today we're here to have a major fundraiser to continue to support the work and the grant work to those deserving in Connecticut hockey. And it's just not Jason, but he was a father. He was a family man. He had great friends who you're going to be introduced to today. And Connecticut Ice is really a culmination. If Jason Pagni were here today, he would be a big part of what's happening this afternoon.
Yeah.
We have a state-of-the-art arena. We have 4 tremendous Connecticut hockey teams here. And we're privileged to, host our silent auction and live raffle and to have you guys here. It's awesome.
And tell everybody where they can go to sign on to the live auction there.
You could go to our X account at CT Hockey FDN. So at CT Hockey FDN. You go to the pin tweet. There's a QR code. You sign in. You look at all the items that are pretty spectacular.
All right. And tell us, too, how great Sacred Heart has been in hosting this for you guys.
Well, where do you begin? They have been so accommodating. Number one, from our great friend, CJ Marottolo, who's the coach here at Sacred Heart. Number one, and just the operations people, the equipment people. I mean, CJ's the mayor here. CJ, when you're here, he's the Tommy Lasorda of college hockey. Yeah. He's a celebrity here, and we're about to get him on.
All right.
Hey, man.
Well, speak of the devil, here he is. We'll bring him on right now.
Thank you guys for being here.
Oh, it's our honor, too.
Way to go, Eric. Good job, Eric.
Yeah, and I know, Pierre, you're familiar with CJ. Here he is.
No, just ask him back in the late 80s who won, Yale or St. Lawrence. Just ask him that.
Yeah, you got to lean forward. Sorry.
How you doing, Pierre?
Oh, CJ, I'm doing fantastic. Congratulations. We've been talking how great your building is, but I don't want to give up bad memories for you. But the late 80s, St. Lawrence, Yale, I don't think you like those games too much.
No, not much.
CJ, just talk to us, first off, what this tournament means to you. We were just talking about how it started, but what does it mean to you? Because I know you were tight with Mr. Pagni as well.
Yeah, Jason was one of my very close friends, and he just gave so much to the youth in Connecticut to grow the game, and to have this event here, I think it's unbelievable. Young kids are coming here. We're growing the game. You have 4 great teams in here competing for a trophy right now. Couldn't happen at a better time of year, and hopefully we use this as a springboard to better things to come for us. Yeah, Pierre and I have always talked. Pierre, you've mentioned this many times in the podcast that, people maybe around the country underestimate how strong the hockey community is here and the talent that comes out of this area. So just talk about how that's built over the years. Yeah, there's great players coming out of Connecticut, and they're spread around all throughout New England hockey in Division I, Division III. The youth hockey coaches in this area do a tremendous job at the grassroots level, developing them, giving them great exposure. And that's what Jason did. He gave the youth of this state, when he was alive, great exposure all over the world. and that's why we miss him so much.
Nice. And how's the season been going for you guys?
Yeah, it's been going well. We've been playing, good hockey
They're
right
good.
now.
Pierre's liking it.
Getting wins.
They're good.
Playing good defensive hockey, and we're getting enough goals to win. So excited for today.
Yeah, this is good. Some good schools here too. I know one of the schools a lot of people are talking about after they went up to Maine, and I got some important points up there. Is UConn? Talk to us about it. What they've been like this year.
Yeah, I mean, Cav does a great job. They have a lot of talent on that team over the past 3 or 4 years. I think from video, haven't seen them live yet, this is probably one of the best teams that they've had. So we'll be watching this game closely at 4.
All right, and then Quinnipiac, of course. You're very familiar with Coach Pagni.
Yep, very familiar, close friends with Rand. Obviously, he's had great success. Your team, they have another very, very good, structured, disciplined team this year. Either one of those teams that we'll face tomorrow will give us a lot of stresses.
And of course, the team you're facing tonight, Yale, you obviously have a great connection to. We have a mutual friend, Todd Carroll, was telling me as I was driving down about all the recruiting you did for them. Talk to us. Is that where you got your start in college hockey?
Yeah, my first job was actually a GA with John Dunham at Trinity College.
I'm sure Pierre knows.
Very well. I know Johnny. He's a
Great
Brown
man.
man, though. How can a Yale guy be hanging out with a Brown guy?
I know. Went against better judgment. But yeah, then Timmy Taylor hired me. Got to spend a lot of great years with him. He taught me a lot. And then I got to spend my last 5 years with Keith Elaine, who was great. Learned a lot from him, and just a great person. And, playing him tonight, his team, and their team is going to work hard. They're north-south. They'll be really, really hard to play against.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to join us, Coach.
Yep.
Good luck this weekend.
Yep, thank you.
All right. We'll have you on soon.
CJ, thank you. Thank you.
Great seeing you, Pierre.
Are we going to get Charlie down on quick?
Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Pierre, we got one more guest, and then I'll get back to you, my friend.
Okay.
Of course, Charlie Dow, Deputy AD and manages external operations here at the arena. Charlie, how you doing?
I'm good. What's happening?
Just make sure you're close to my thanks.
Absolutely.
And so you can't hear that good. We apologize. Just a lot of outside noise.
No
but
worries.
if you can't hear Pierre, let me know. I can hear him. So just talk to us about what this tournament means to Sacred Heart.
Well, it's important not only for Sacred Heart, I think, but for Connecticut college hockey.
Mm-hmm.
When we started this, I actually was at the arena downtown, worked with SMY to start this, and it was envisioned as Connecticut's bean pot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was super excited showing some of the other institutions, coaches around, talking about how much they like this tournament.
Yeah.
So already 5th year, the fervor for the players, the coaches is terrific. Great college hockey. We had 3 ranked teams and another team that's playing real well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a showcase, and we're just super proud to have it at Martyria Family Arena this year. And, looking forward to a great weekend of hockey.
One of the cool things is I get to go to a lot of different arenas. That's as nice as an arena as there is on campus anywhere in the country. Your arena is spectacular.
Pierre, I thank you very much for saying that. We're very proud of it. And yeah, we like to think we're up there in the top echelons in terms of. And look, better than anyone. College hockey is an arms race. It's not so much about anything except, hey, who's your gear sponsor, and what's your locker room look like? and fortunately, we do okay with that, but we do like to showcase that it's a great institution, and we're also very proud. Our men's hockey team last semester popped a 3-5 collectively.
Wow.
Traditionally, we do very well with the academics, and actually, I'm going to brag a little bit. The girls did a 3-7 last semester.
Good.
So.
They were just practicing before we got in here. Yeah, I saw them here. Yep.
They were.
What has this rink done for the community too? Because I know that a lot of kids teams play here as well.
Well, we go. Once we get into hockey season, this building's open pretty much 6 to midnight. We do have 3 local high schools that play here. Notre Dame, which is now affiliated with Sacred Heart, and then the Fairfield high schools, the 2 co-op teams play here. We also have 5 club hockey teams at Sacred Heart.
Oh, wow.
4 women and 1 men. We have a club figure skating program, which is nationally ranked. So this ice gets utilized a lot. And we've also had some open skates, but we try to keep it cranking, but we also try to keep it up to date. So maintenance is a challenge.
Beautiful. Well, we appreciate you taking the time.
Thank
Good
you
luck
so
this
much.
weekend. Enjoy yourself.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Pierre.
Thank you. Thank you.
Charlie Al joining us here on the Eye Test and the Sick Podcast Network. Pierre, I'm getting a little worried because we see the band lining up here. So what might happen, we might have to cancel the rest of the guests. I'm going to plug in some earbuds so I can talk to you in a bit, all right?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
for
you
now, I
got
got you. For now, I got you. Pierre, you've been here. When you see arenas like this and you schools like this, we've had this conversation before where maybe lesser known, smaller schools are people are starting to take notice of it around the college hockey world. When did you start to notice Sacred Heart?
When I moved from Montreal to New Canaan, Connecticut, where I lived when I started the second part of my NBC life. The first part of my NBC life, I was living in Montreal and commuting all the time. The second part, we were living in Connecticut because NBC moved their sports studio out to down to Stamford, Connecticut. So that's when I first got to know the Sacred Heart program, and I watched how hard those kids I think a lot in Stanford at the Stanford Twin Lakes. That rink where you are right now, Jimmy, that wasn't built yet, so they had to practice. Probably about 30 minutes away from where the school was, and I just watched some of their practices. They practiced around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and they looked good. Like I can say, there were some guys that you can tell were going to be really good players. So that's when I kind of knew. But one of the things that has happened in college hockey, people are realizing it's not just the men, it's the women too. And people are putting money into this now, and it's really starting to help the game grow. I really love what they're doing, both on the men and the women's side.
Yeah, it's something, man. I come down here and when I was walking in, I could not believe it. And this place is filling up right now, Pierre, and you can see how excited everybody is. But like you've said many times, you try to tell, I've heard you say it on Melnick, you've said it here. This is a hockey hotbed. And I don't think it gets enough credit around the country.
So my son played for a program called Fairfield. Now, a lot of people call that the Evil Empire, but here's some of the names of kids that have played there. Jonathan Quick, Max Pacioretty, Cam Atkinson, Scotty Morrow. You start to, my guy, you look at some of the guys that have played there that have gone on to have really good Division I talent, careers or even pro careers. It's pretty amazing. And they're all from this little part of Connecticut, Fairfield County. And the kids come from all over Connecticut, not just from Fairfield County. They come from all over to be part of that program. And there are lots of other ones in Connecticut that are really good too. Brian Leach came from a small town not far from where you are right now, Cheshire, Connecticut.
Yep.
Craig Janney was a kid that wasn't far from there. Like, I'm just telling you, there are a lot of great players that have come from the state of Connecticut, and they will continue to come from the state of Connecticut.
Pierre, you hear me okay?
I do.
Okay, good. Well, this is Todd Carroll here, Pierre.
Hey, Todd.
Todd, how are you? Todd has a lot of mutual friends of yours. He knows Farrell Miller from Live Barn very well, and but Todd does some family advising for what company called?
Yeah, so Premier Sports Advisors. Started working with Jerry Buckley early on the pro side, and then got more into some of the placement stuff, and now I've shifted my company more into consultant for sports-centric ventures. And Sacred Heart was one of my clients here with the new arena and everything. So a tremendous project to kind of be involved with.
Yeah, and Pierre, I want to tell you too. So Todd actually was telling me that he was going to try and reach out to you and make a little bet on Trinity Hobart, but he's glad he didn't.
Your team would have gone down like a free beer at a frat party.
Oh my God, Bud! Let me tell you, I told everybody that game. I would tell you, I think Hobart would have been a 500 club in the Atlantic Hockey League. It's one of the best hockey games I've seen, and John Dunham, I'll forever be indebted to for getting me to Trinity. But Hobart was impressive in that game. Just wore down Trinity.
Todd, I told Jimmy that we had their coach on, Mark Taylor, and I even told Coach.
Yeah, we had Taylor on recently.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's great.
We had Mark on, and I said, you guys could play in Division I. They could play in Division I. They could beat a lot of Division I.
Yeah, they said they could play Division I.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And they got some transfers there, but they were big, they were heavy, and just the pace at which they played, it was exhausting. And Trinity had a very good team. However, they just ran out of gas, and the best team won there, even though I'm rooting for it. But I was going to reach out to you. Rob Oliver's a good buddy of mine, so I wagered a little bet with the Statesman.
You know what, Jimmy? Make sure Todd gets my number from you. I'd love to stay in touch.
I will for sure. We're probably going to lose sound here, so it's probably going to just have to be me and you now. Sorry, we're going to lose him. But we'll get Toddy on again soon because he's got some great stories I want him to tell you. So
yeah, it's a pleasure. All right, guys, thanks for having me.
All right, no problem.
See you, brother.
Thanks, Todd.
1 sec, Pierre. Sorry about this. We're going to get the sound going.
You're good. Everything's good.
You hear me okay?
Loud and clear. You're looking good, sounding good. You just keep that Robert Fitzpatrick away from you because he might do some damage with you.
I know. We'll be like we were in Belfast again, huh? At the Hart Bar. We're going to be there again next year. I was just actually, you know who I just saw? Now it's going to kill me that I don't remember his name. He works with Cara Travel, the referee, the young referee.
I saw him in Vermont last weekend.
Yeah, he's reffing the first game here today.
Wow.
He's on the ice right now. Yeah. So anyhow, small world, a lot of connections around here. But Pierre, looking around the college hockey world, what are some of the games? Obviously, you're going to be at UMass tonight, but what are some of the other games you're looking at?
Oh, it's a big weekend. BUBC's never small potatoes. That's going to be really interesting to watch. I'll be at the Merrimack Northeastern game tomorrow night at Matthews Arena. That's going to be a massive crowd and big game for both those teams that are both starting to really rise up. Merrimack's coming off a good split with UMass last weekend, and the weekend before they split with BC, which is, that's a lot. That says a lot. So yeah, I'm going to be watching a lot of college hockey this weekend. I'll be watching a lot of pro hockey too. And like you said correctly, I'm here to work the game tonight between Alaska and UMass. I'm really looking forward to that.
And you're doing a game with Nathan?
Pardon me?
Are you doing a game with Nathan tonight?
I am. Yeah.
Nice. Nathan Strauss, who of course was on our show recently. Pierre, one thing I was going to ask you too about you talking about UConn here. We were talking about UConn coming down and how they're starting to move up the rankings. Your son's school, Northeastern, right now, I mean, they could do some damage in the pairwise if they come away with 2 wins this weekend, huh?
Yeah. They're going to play this weekend at home Saturday night. Then they're up at Maine next Friday before the Bean Pot on Monday where they play BC. So they just got to keep chugging. They've been playing really well. They had a big weekend last weekend at University of Vermont. By the way, this is for all the fans at UVM, and we do have a lot. That program is going to be really good. They are doing a fantastic job at UVM building their program.
I heard that's a great old barn too.
Yeah, Gutterson's great. I coached there a long time ago, and it's still got a lot of flavor in there. Jimmy, they've got 4 kids right now committed for major junior programs that are really high-end players. So they're going to be an extremely good team for a long time up there in Burlington. Very good.
Nice. Well, you know what? You brought up the Bean Pot there. That's a great segue. So let's tell our listeners, Pierre, where we will be on both Bean Pot Mondays, the first Monday, February 3rd, and then the following week on February 10th. We will be at West End Johnny's, 138 Portland Street, right across from TD Garden where the Bean Pot will take place. And I talked to Johnny today on the ride down here. He's very excited to have us. He's working on some pretty big guests for us, so I can't confirm anything yet, but I will say that a couple of them are current NHLers if we can secure it, because they will be in the area, so we'll see what we can do. Both Bean Pot alums, so I'll just leave it at that. But Pierre, we're very excited about that. And then, of course, after the Bean Pot is done, we will trek up to Montreal, go to 1420 Peel Street in downtown Montreal. That's Upper Peel, not Lower Peel, and we'll be at McLean's Public House, not the old McLean's. McLean's Public House, 1420 Peel Street, from 6 to 7 p.m. before the Four Nations games up there. And then we'll make our way back to Boston for the semifinals and the finals and be back at West End Johnny's. We're really excited about that. And, of course, let's talk about our sponsors right now. TCS Customs and Logistics. Unlock the full potential of your shipping operation with TCS Customs and Logistics. From around the corner to around the world, flatbeds to air freight, customs clearance to drawback consulting, TCS is a one-stop shop for all things transport, moving pieces and delivering a peace of mind. For no obligation customs or freight quote, contact at sickpodcast at shiptcs.com, sickpodcast at shiptcs.com. Give me Betway right now, guys. So we got some great college picks for you. All right. Go to Betway right now, and you can get that same deal right now. They'll give you $200 credit for your first bet if you're a new member. So go there and sign up with the QR code right in front of you if you're watching. If not, go to the website, go to details section, and redeem your welcome offer. The offer is not available in Ontario right now. You must be 18 plus and always bet responsibly. Let's go to the sick pick of the night.
It's time for Sick Picks. Brought to you by Betway.
All right, Pierre. Well, we got this game coming up right now, UConn and Quinnipiac. And this one's it's going to be a good one. This is the first game here at Martyr Arena. I'm going to put a little on UConn. I don't know if it's because I had a good conversation with Cavi before and he rubbed off of me. I have no idea. But he says hello, by the way, Coach Mike Cavanaugh, UConn. But I like the way they're playing right now. I really do. They're on a roll. So give me UConn on the money line if you can find it over at Betway. Let's get to the Q&A. What do we got, guys? We got anything?
A little quiet right now, I think, Jimmy.
Yeah, just because we're here. That's fine. Pierre, going back to that Bruins-Senators game, I know one thing you and I were texting about. The old Brad Marchand was rearing his ugly head a bit last night. I don't exactly agree with when he put his hand around Cousins' neck, but at the same time, Pierre, I thought that was one of the most effective games I've seen Brad Marchand play in a while. He was doing his best to get under their skin. He was trying to walk that line, and he was creating offense. He almost had a great shorthanded breakaway goal. What did you think of Brad Marchand last night?
I'm with you. Ditto. I think he nailed it pretty well. The one thing, though, is he's got to watch out for that because he's got a rap sheet, obviously.
Yeah.
And the league's aware of that. And at this point now, it's got to be all hands on deck in Boston just because no McAvoy, no Hampus Lindholm. It's not that easy for them to win games. They were tooth and nail to win that game last night. It wasn't an easy win. So they need all hands on deck, and he's a big one of those hands that they need.
All right, and the other thing I was going to ask you about that game, too, is Morgan Geekie scores another goal. He's now got 12, I believe, since December 1st. We're looking ahead right now, Pierre, and I'm watching that game, and I'm watching the way he's been playing right now. And if, as the Bruins decide to retool a bit, I think he would be a very useful player for a contending team in their middle six.
No doubt about that. I just don't know if they're in a rush to move him. I mean, we'll
right.
see.
I mean, he could help them as well.
Decide to do. The one thing I'd say about Boston right now is they're making do with what they have.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a little light. They're a little short, but they still are finding a way, which is obviously good. And they got to be happy that Korpisalo could go in last night and win that game against his old team from Ottawa. They got to be really happy about that.
I think he was pretty motivated about that, too. And, it was kind of an accidental start, right, because Swayman couldn't go, but he made the best of it. Looking at the team you were watching more closely last night, the Montreal Canadiens, a big thanks again to Jeff Gorton for joining us here on the eye test last night. He was amazing. Gotten a lot of compliments about that episode. He said, hey, we think this team has earned the right for us to maybe make some additions at the deadline. Pierre, I don't want to keep repeating ourselves, but I want you to tell, when you look at that team, what do you think is the biggest need right now?
I think they need a little bit more supplemental offense. I really do. The one thing I'd say about last night, I know there were a lot of disappointed Canadiens fans, but you can't be disappointed in Line A, you can't be disappointed in Newhook, and you can't be disappointed in Doc. I thought that line played really well. I wasn't in love with what was going on with Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slavkovsky last night. I wasn't in love with what was going on deeper in the lineup. So I think that, quite frankly, Jimmy, they could use a little bit more supplemental offense. And I think maybe one more NHL caliber defenseman. I know that Jaden Strubl's there right now as an extra guy, but I think they could use one more NHL caliber defenseman.
All right. Well, guess what? We have a special guest that's just arrived here. Pierre, the aforementioned Robert Fitzpatrick is joining us here on the eye test. You know this guy.
Hold it. Can you just ask him, do they not feed people in Ireland? What happened to all his muscle mass? Wait, I just was asking Robert, do they not feed you guys overseas? What happened to you? You just whittled away to nothing. Jimmy, turn the mic on. We apologize. We're having a little technical difficulty right now. Jimmy's got to get your mic turned on, Robert. Turn his mic on, Jimmy. No, still not on. Oh, there we go.
Right. 1 sec.
Okay.
Now we good?
Yeah, we're good.
You hear me now?
Oh, you look great. Good to see you, Robert.
It's good to see you, Pierre. It's a privilege and a pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed our time when we were in Belfast. Didn't expect to see you this soon again. But as you said, and I've told you many times, my friend, the hockey world is small.
It's small. It's small, and I'll be seeing a lot more of you. Thrilled to death that you're actually able to see the arena at Sacred Heart. It's a spectacular building.
This is the arena that I'm building in Belfast, Pierre. We've had some great news from the city in the last couple of weeks. They've now secured a site, and it's now about. We did 2 inspection visits to the Red Bull facility in Salzburg, and then we spent last week in Prague, where we did 9 site visits in Prague, culminating with a Sparta Prague Czechia game in the O2 in Prague. We've got both the harbour commissioners and the city now committed to delivering an announcement for the development of a new rink in 2025. So,
and
a lot of
Robert,
progress.
where would that be in proximity to your arena right now?
So, as Irish beggars can't be choosers, we're having a bit of a competition because the city have got a wonderful parkland site that they have in mind, with over 2.5 acres of development space. The real remarkable thing, Pierre, that the city have accepted is that it's 2 rinks, not 1.
Wow.
It's 2 pads.
That's even better. That's fantastic.
It's absolutely tremendous, my friend. And not only that, but they've also accepted the whole principle of ice for the masses. And to my mind, that's been the biggest achievement that we've had so far. 25, as I was saying to you, I hope to see your son play against, I think they're playing UConn.
They are playing UConn.
I'm going to be at that game.
Yeah, no, I know we're going to have breakfast before. You're going to be staying at the same hotel where we met the last time. I know.
That's right.
I'm on it.
That's right.
I'm on it.
So, and the night before, we're going to go to Boston College and have another go.
That's good. That's good. They have some pretty good players there.
Okay. Pierre, you hear me okay, my friend?
I do. I got you, Jimmy.
Yeah, okay. So that it's getting pretty loud here. We're getting the bands going. So we're going to sign off for now.
Yep.
We appreciate you taking the time. Enjoy the game tonight, and I will talk to you after, all right?
Just take care of my friend Robert. That's all I care about. Take care of my friend Robert.
You take care, Pierre. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
I can't wait to see you again. See you, Robert. Bye.
Thanks.
All right. All right, so Jimmy Murphy here with Robert Fitzpatrick from the Belfast Giants. Robert, welcome to my side of the pond here.
Delighted to be here, Jimmy. This is the arena that I covet the most.
Yeah,
it's amazing. That needs to be built in Belfast.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first time here too, and it's something else. I've been hearing a lot about it. One of my friends who was just on before you, Todd Carroll, was part of the architect here, and he kept saying this is going to be something. It's going to be different, Jimmy. And now I can see. I mean, this is beautiful.
A bespoke 2,500 seat arena that cannot survive the ice time that it demands has been made. But more importantly, Sacred Heart just have it.
Yeah, they do. So when did you get into town?
So we came over on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
All day yesterday, we were meeting with the president of the university and some of the trustees on a very exciting education initiative that we're trying to put together.
Great.
Between this university and Belfast and the Giants.
Uh-huh.
And then the idea of, being forced to come and watch hockey, that's really hard for me.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to the 2 games tonight.
Oh, that's great. And they got some great teams, too. 3 of the 4 teams are ranked right now.
3 of the 4 teams have played in Belfast.
Yeah, I know. And then next year, you're going to have Sacred Heart and Quinnipiac?
No.
Oh.
So next year, we have RIT.
Okay.
Sacred Heart.
Miami, Ohio. Yep, that's right. Very excited for that. And then in January, we have women's, right?
We have Boston University, Harvard, Minnesota Duluth, and Quinnipiac. Jimmy, listen, I've said this to you before. You've been a breath of fresh air in the way that we've been able to do this stuff.
It's my honor. It's my honor.
Breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And so many more people in Belfast now are listening to the podcast primarily because of what you did in Belfast. So I'll always be eternally grateful to you for that.
You tell the folks at the Hard Bar we say hello to you. We loved it. We want to be there again. No, it's interesting because when I come back, and, a lot of people on Facebook would see, hey, you were in Ireland. What were you there for? And I thought, oh, I've heard of that. It's pretty cool. We might have to go over for it. It's a great time.
You've already told me you were coming back to the women's game.
Oh, I'm coming home.
You come for both?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I might come in the summer, too, and stay there.
Yeah, well, wouldn't be the first time that has happened. That we persuaded somebody from this side to come to our side.
Yeah, imagine James Patrick Murphy. Imagine that. No, you know what? It was an amazing time, and one of the things I love most is it's no myth. You hear it all these times. My dad said it. My mom has been over here. My grandfather. Just how welcoming and how humble everybody is over here. And I'm telling you, I'm in love with the city of Belfast.
Jimmy,
I really am.
Jimmy, we borrowed your sport. Your sport brought peace.
Yep.
People say that we're the most important sports team in the world. You've now seen firsthand why we're the most important sports team in the world. Our friendship tournament is well named.
Yeah.
Because it's my
Really
biggest
is.
friends.
Yeah.
You, my friend, have become a friend.
Pleasure. Honored to be there. So, what are there plans going forward? You're going to continue with the women's and men's every year, and you'll do the same time?
Well, the aspiration we have now, the NHL rookie camps have started to travel. So we want to get a rookie camp to Belfast.
That'd be great.
Okay.
I told you that when the year the Bruins won the Cup, 2010, 2011, the Bruins were in Belfast for an exhibition game, right? They played you guys, you know that. But
we went 1-0 up.
Oh, yeah. And it's great guy, Sean Thornton, I'm sure you might have met.
That's right.
Yep. But also, they're going to Prague, they're going to Germany, so why not Belfast?
Well, I think the NHL have cottoned on to the fact that they've got a hugely lucrative international touring prospectus, but the rookies don't.
Yeah.
And Boston is the only sister city of Belfast. Nashville is also a sister city. On the 26th of February, they're flying to Nashville to meet with the Predators organization to explore the potential of the Predators organization coming to Belfast. But that's the first
great organization. We just actually had one of their first owners. Wow. He now owns the Minnesota Wild. He was on with us 2 days ago here in the eye test. Great guy, great interview. But yeah, it's amazing what they've done there. And have you been there yet?
No.
Okay, so when you get there, you'll notice it's great because when you walk out of the arena, you're right on Broadway, which is the main track for Nashville. You've just got bar, restaurant, an amazing scene, great atmosphere, and they've done a great job really. So I think that's great.
We're hoping that making a place to say sister city competition.
Yes.
I realize that they are a developing area. Their CEO was on last week, the American Coaches Foundation, talking about how they get first, second, third. I need to learn that stuff because we have only still one right? I need to learn what it's like to become a component of that sports-led development process. If I can do that, then really at the end of the day,
has there been another city in that's the top like a Dublin? I'm going to say Dublin.
Dublin has got a very entrepreneurial development that want to look at us. And they're sort of, in some way, flabbergasted by the fact that the Giants have been going on for 25 years. And that they have consistently qualified for Europe. The reality of it is that we have to capitalize on that. There may be a development in court. It's like ice hockey development.
Yeah, once you get the first one, you'll be like Thomas.
I have been to. I think this is my 36th house. I started out on this journey. And this is by far This is by far the most modern. By far. And it has I wouldn't say too many kids that get offended, but it really has an action.
Funny virus Catholic here, you can tell.
It's got family orientation, leadership of the university, exceptional. Like kids for the last couple of years. And the idea of me sitting at a hockey tournament, not straight over a hockey tournament, it's going to be a unique experience.
And of course, quickly before we go, I want to say the team is in first place. How's that been going?
So the Giants had 2 games last weekend, and then on Wednesday night, and if they win tomorrow night, they'll fight next year. Next year.
Okay, so when does your season end?
We finish playoffs the first weekend.
Okay, a little before the end.
So we've got on the 12th of February, we have the semifinals of the Challenge Cup at home. And then at the end of February, we have what I think will be an exciting game up part of the
That's a run, right?
Cargill, Sheffield, Nottingham, Cardiff, Belfast, pick any one of the
All right, the championship, I'll have to come over to the party.
It's just for the heart.
Listen, Robert, always a pleasure, my friend. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for coming over. We're going to catch up in a bit. I'm going to sign off. All right, Robert, back to you all that giant. Here on the iTest podcast. If you're ever in the Fairfield area, Connecticut, check the game out here at St. It's great. I want to thank the Connecticut Hockey Foundation for having us here on this Friday. Eric Lupin helped set this up. CJ Marottolo and Charlie Dodd. Of course, big thanks to my wonderful coach, Pierre McGuire. This is a good sport. I know we couldn't hear much, but it's not like we hear him too well here. But we made it work. Big thanks to Jason Lord, back to the Sick Podcast Studios. One more thank you. I want to say big thanks to Michael Russo, the athlete. Great story about our interview. The other day that we had here, great vehicle. Nick Gary Beckley, commissioner of the NHL, is now going to retiring. The official time that they said yet, but there is going to be something soon. We will talk to you next week on Monday here in the iTest. Until then, enjoy the hockey.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the iTest with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. Brought to you by TCS Customs and Logistics.